now that we've talked about all our houses, we are going to do a little anticipation guide. The story that we're going to be reading is The House on Mango Street. So let me read over these directions, and then we're going to discuss some of these anticipation questions together. Directions. Before reading The House on Mango Street, look at each statement or picture and place a yes by those statements or pictures with which you agree, and a no by those statements with which you disagree under the section labeled Anticipation Questions. In the appropriate space, write your reason for agreeing or disagreeing while we discuss each statement or picture as a class. Does everyone understand what we're doing? Okay, good. Let's start off with number one. Number one, it is most healthy for people to live around others of their own race. What do people think about that? Yes.
I don't think that's true.
Why?
Because it's like if you live with someone who's the exact same way as you, you won't know anything that's different. I don't know how, I'm not sure I'm verbalizing this correctly, but you need to know there's clearly more than one type of person in this world we live in. And if you only know people who are similar to you, you're at a disadvantage.
Okay. What do you think, Greg?
I don't know. I don't think it's... I don't like the word most, but I don't think it's necessarily unhealthy. Like,
Why would it be unhealthy?
Well, I mean, like, I think kind of what Rachel is saying, like, oh, you won't know anything different. I disagree with that. Because even if people are of the same race, they're still different from each other fundamentally.
That's
There's
true.
still cultural differences between people of the same race.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I think answering no is the politically correct thing to say.
Why do you say that?
Because the way our America is now is we are supposed to pride ourselves on diversity. And I'm not saying that that's bad or it's good. It's just how it is, you know? Just like 100 years ago, you prided yourself on being white or black. Now it's diversity. It's just changed, you know? And I'm not saying that, like, it's more humane, inhumane, anything like that. But at the same time, the question is it most healthy? Depending on where you live, yeah, I think it would be the most healthy. Because if you think about places where racism do still exist, or, you know, religious differences, you think about, like, for example, Africa. Even though they are, like, some of them are the same race, like, apartheid still exists in South Africa, and people do get killed because of the color of their skin. Fortunately, in America, those instances are a lot less, but I think that if we're saying most healthy, then maybe yes. If we're trying to be politically correct and humane people, then no.
Okay. Think about your own experience in the lunchroom. Do you guys sit with your own race?
Okay.
We have one race.
So I want to say this.
In our school?
At Loyola?
Our school. Our high school in Chicago.
Can I answer?
I mean, think about it. When you're at lunch, who do you sit with?
My friends.
And what do your friends look like?
I mean, they all look different.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Yes, Rachel.
Okay, I can say that every school year, my group of friends, like growing up in high school, who I would sit with at lunch was different, and depended on how I was acting that year, or like just whatever was going on in my life. And I can say it started out with me being with a whole group of like white kids I came from my middle school, but my second year, those same girls did not like do the things I like to do, did not, you know, whatever, we weren't really friends. And then all of a sudden it switched, and I was the only girl like in this group of like boys, and you know, a few like Latino girls, but like it was all mixed. And I think I had way more fun with them, whether or not it was because we were all like different backgrounds or whatever, but I definitely think it was more interesting than just being with people who were all the same as me like the freshman year.
All right, so you can gain something from being in a diverse group, but when you're with people of possibly your own race, maybe you can share a little bit of culture. So that's some food for thought. Amanda, why don't you read number 2?
Okay. It is easy to judge someone by the kind of clothes they wear.
What do you think about that? What kind of clothes am I wearing? Do I look professional today? Why? Because I have a sweater, khakis, dress shoes, somebody based on the clothes they wear?
I put yes, in the sense of it's not that it's right to judge them, or not that you can make good judgments, but it's so easy to see somebody who, like another kid walking down the hall with like his pants hanging out. It's so easy to be like, that person might be like a bad kid, or he might do drugs, or make these assumptions. So I think it's really easy because of different stereotypes that we see every day to make those.
And what causes you to have those stereotypes in your mind? Think of like some.
I think mostly because of the media, I would say. Because of the way certain lifestyles are like if you watch MTV or something like that, and they're rappers and they wear those kind of clothes, and then if kids wear those clothes at school, you might assume that they do the same things that those rappers do.
Right.
They guess do more with kind of our fear of difference.
Okay.
Like, I just kind of like just normal clothes, random t-shirts, jeans, and, if I see someone walking around with, their pants, like, down to their knees and everything like that, I'll make assumptions, but at the same time, if I see someone my age, in the same school as me, wearing, like, full suit and everything like that, I'd probably make judgments, what's that kid's problem?
Okay.
Well, why is he dressed so nice?
Yeah.
Who's he trying to impress?
Exactly. So, I mean,
So
go ahead.
I think it's just like us making judgments about people different than ourselves.
Okay. I like that. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's really easy to judge someone, and Amanda was kind of hinting at it, but I don't think I necessarily am like, oh, he's a punk, he does this, but I think my biggest flaw is I read magazines, like Vogue or Cosmopolitan, for example, and then, they say what kind of clothes are, like, good and expensive, and they have all these ads, so when I'm at work maybe one day and a woman walks in with a bag by a certain brand, I immediately assume, like, oh, she has money, blah, blah, blah. Not that it makes any difference to me or it affects me in any way, but it's just something you think you know because of what they have.
Right.
It's like fake. It's a fake world.
Okay. All right, that's good. All right, Greg, why don't you read number 3?
Number 3. The United States should not allow any more people to immigrate to the U.S.
No.
No, why?
Because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for immigration. No one right now, for the most part, except for Native Americans, would be here.
Okay.
If we just suddenly are like, oh, just kidding, you can't come in anymore.
All right. Do you think that maybe like 200 years ago we lived in a different kind of America where we were trying to build up? What do you think about like right now in terms of, let's say somebody comes here and takes a job. What do you have to say about that? That's just the other side.
Well, no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, that was my family at one point. Yeah. At one point, my parents came here and could arguably have taken someone else's job. However, as long as the market stands at you get this job based on your skills, then it should not matter where you came from. If somebody was born in America versus somebody who was not, and they both were applying for the same job, if one had, more skills than the other, then it should be based off skills, who gets the job, not because you were born in America, you get this job.
Okay.
Well, why is it our responsibility to give jobs to people from other countries? I mean, why not take care of our unemployment first?
Okay.
I don't know if I entirely believe that myself, but it's a point. Why should we give someone else a job when we need to fix our own people?
Do you have a response?
Well, because...
I have a response.
Okay, yeah, I need to think about mine.
There are people who live here who aren't actively looking for jobs. So I think that there are a lot of jobs that people just don't want because they think that, they're dirty job, they don't want to be a gardener, do
exactly.
yard work or something like that. And that's not... the people that are coming to this country are only getting the jobs that we don't want.
Right. Well, fair, but what about the American that doesn't mind having that job?
But I feel like there are enough opportunities. Obviously right now it's a different situation because it's so bad right now, but I feel like if people look hard enough that there are jobs.
All right. Well, we'll be approaching this in the story. All right, Nikki, why don't you read number 4?
Parents do not understand the problems that face teenagers today.